Welcome, everyone, to your new moon in Capricorn tarotscopes for your new moon right before the new year on December 30th. This is going to be quite exciting and perfect, right, for the new moon. You got the new year, so you got the new moon before the new year, so you get to make your intentions for 2025. So welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning. I'm a psychic astrologer, and you can check out my website, psychicsun.com, to get your chart and card reading for the new year, as well as steady long-term coaching if you're interested in that. And of course, gift certificates. If you're in need of a gift and a last-minute gift, well, check out my website, psychicsun.com, and we'll give you gift certificates for the holiday season as well, for everybody on your holiday list. And all of my links are in the description below. Hey, Haley. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining tonight. So let's talk about this new moon in Capricorn on December 30th, 2024. Of course, this is the last new moon of 2024. And new moons, of course, are all about new beginnings. You're planting seeds. You're setting your intentions. And the new moon in Capricorn specifically invites you to set long-term goals. Capricorn doesn't want quick fixes. It really doesn't trust things that come quick. They want to go for the long haul, and they're very sure-footed, and they take a very strategic, pragmatic approach. So this new moon is good for us. It's going to be good for us to focus on our long-term goals and being ambitious and planning for lasting success. So it's a time to plant seeds for future growth. You might want to think not just over the next 2 weeks after this new moon or after 6 months into the new moon, but you may want to even utilize this Capricorn new moon energy to think 5-10 years down the line. So you're always headed in the direction that you want to be going in. To determine how this new moon is going to affect you, well, of course, you can listen to your sign and your rising sign taroscope in this video, but if you want to pinpoint it exactly, you can check where 9 degrees of Capricorn falls in your astrology chart. That's where you're going to have a new beginning this new moon. Now, our new moon in Capricorn on December 30th it's a mixed bag of aspects. There are a few challenging ones. Mars retrograde will oppose Pluto. That's the big deal. And that's going to create or may create tension between our drive and our transformation, because Mars retrograde might make us a little bit sluggish. Things might not take off as speedily as you might like. But you can still utilize that energy, that Mars opposite Pluto, for personal growth, and you can turn challenges into opportunities for change. So every problem that you have, by virtue of it being a problem, there's a solution to it. And it might take a little jimmying, but you'll be able to figure it out. We also have a tense T-square involving Mercury, Saturn, and Jupiter. This is going to challenge communication, expansion, and discipline. But if we utilize that Capricorn energy and stay grounded, we can focus on blending ideas with structure, and we can create progress. Now, the best and perhaps most important aspect of this new moon is a harmonious, supportive sextile between the new moon and Saturn. Now, that's very important because this new moon in Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. Saturn is in Pisces, and that's making a beautiful sextile, a gorgeous 60-degree angle with the new moon. So this is going to offer us supportive energy in turning our goals into reality. And we can use Saturn's discipline to create steady, lasting progress. Now, in this video, what we're going to do is look at where the new moon is happening in your chart, as well as where Saturn may be happening in your chart too. So you're going to be able to combine both and make it for a good new moon. Hello, Kasmar. Nice to see you. Good evening. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you and Haley joining, irrespective of all the festivities that are going on right now. So we're going to go sign by sign and do a quick reading for each sign too, some wisdom from the tarot. But remember, check where that 9 degrees of Capricorn is in your chart if you want to really pinpoint it. So Aries, this new moon, of course, is hitting your 10th house. So it's time to really determine what mountain you're climbing. What mountain do you want to be on the top of? Where do you want to be number one? Where do you want to be the best? So it's time for you to set long-term career goals. Now, Saturn in Pisces is hitting your 12th house, which means that you got to be really disciplined in terms of your spirituality and with your subconscious, meaning you got to do those things that really train your subconscious. Now, putting these both together, you can really visualize Saturn in the 12th, how you want your career to go. You can give yourself affirmations. You can give yourself suggestions, right? Because that 12th house Saturn for you, Saturn transiting your 12th house, is going to help you to really make strides in terms of your new moon goals in regard to your career. So visualize what you want. Don't give yourself the luxury of a negative thought in regard to your career. And you may want to really impress upon the subconscious the end goal, having already arrived, right? You want to get ahead of it, meaning when you're visualizing, you want to see it having already been accomplished, whatever it is that you want to accomplish. And let's see, Aries, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Capricorn. Wisdom for Aries, wisdom for Aries, wisdom for Aries, wisdom for Aries. Three of Cups. So it's time to celebrate, Aries. Three of Cups is all about people coming together, harmonizing, usually emotionally, right? So think about celebrating, right? Celebrate with your family, with your friends, and really think about how you can bring that celebratory energy to your goals, right? In terms of career, oftentimes many people can do the job that we do, but only we can do it in our particular way. Essentially, people want to work with people that they like, right? That they get along with, that they feel emotionally harmonious with. So think about that in terms of work and career goals. Think about how you can make it more of a celebratory thing, people getting together for creative purpose. Really tap into the power of the group, especially the group that you may be in which there is a lot of love and abundance. Love and abundance is the name of your game. And if you can apply that, those energies, those love and abundant energies to your career, you're going to it's going to be easier for you to move forward. So happy new moon, Aries. So Taurus, this new moon will be hitting your 9th house. It's all about expanding your vision. It's all about going beyond your stretch. How can you expand and how can you grow? And how can you see things in a different way, in a more evolved, expansive kind of way? You might be interested in going on a trip. That could expand your horizons. Maybe you'll take a foreign trip, or you may decide this new moon that you want to expand your philosophy or your knowledge. Maybe you'll do a deep dive in a subject and you'll get a degree, or maybe you'll take some classes to expand your mind. Now, Saturn in the 11th is harmonizing nicely with your new moon in the 9th. So you can really align your growth with supportive community ties. What this might mean is that, say you decide to take a class, well, a side benefit of taking that class is that it comes with it a community, and that collective can help you achieve your aims. It also could be a matter of you're going to expand and grow maybe through travel. And what I would suggest, Taurus, if you want to visit another country, you may want to find a group to go with. Maybe it's a group of your friends and you'll take a trip around the world or someplace outside of your country. Or I'm sure they have groups that connect in the States, let's say, and then they actually go on their trips together. But there's a really nice link between your expansion and your community. And I also would say that with this aspect, if you're looking to expand your horizons in some capacity, you definitely want to allow yourself to think about how this might help you to achieve your greatest aims. The 11th house not only has to do with friends and community, but it also has to do with your highest dreams, ambitions, and goals. Like whatever it is that you would do, if you knew that you could not fail. So it might be a matter of, in order for you to reach that next level, to achieve that dream, you have to expand in some way. Maybe you need to increase your knowledge. But the 11th house really tells you, like, why not? And it also tells you got to be disciplined in terms of those goals, and even disciplined in terms of the groups that you're involved in. Is the group that you're involved in, or the groups that you're involved with, are they helping you to expand and grow? So let's see, Taurus, what wisdom you get from the tarot. Wisdom for Taurus, 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 wisdom for Taurus. The World. Well, this is a great card. It's about success and accomplishment. Essentially what you're doing. I guess we're all doing the World card, right, for this end of the year, but we're learning our limitations, and that's going to help us to maximize our creative potential. The World card is all about graduation. So you're graduating to this next level, and it's going to be up to you to determine what you want to bring into the next phase of your life. How do you want to expand? Are you involved in something that is limiting for you? Are there ways in which you want to expand and grow, be it educationally or even professionally? The 9th house does have to do with entrepreneurship. So you're closing a cycle, you're integrating what has happened over the past year, and then you're going to be able to really maximize your potential. But definitely look at this moment for you as a time in which you have gone to that next level, that you have graduated, and give yourself that sense of relief, right? You're closing a cycle and there's success. So celebrate your successes and build upon them for the new year. And happy new moon. Hello, Kasmar. Nice to see you. Thank you for your super chat. What writing goals? Should we be specific or generalize? When writing goals, should you be specific or generalize? Well, I think that you need to be specific in some ways, but not too specific. So for instance, say you were wanting to get a new job. You might say, I want a new job that's compatible with my lifestyle, that provides me plenty of money and plenty of comfort. You might not want to say, I want a job at X company, because you don't know what company X is all about, right? You might not know what you're zoning in on. So you want to be both, if that makes sense. Same thing in terms of love. Never do you want to say, I want this person, this one person, because that just might be a disaster if you get that person, right? So instead, you might want to, in terms of love, write down 10 traits or qualities about somebody that you want to attract. And ideally, you'd embody those 10 traits, and then you'd attract that person. But you don't want to be like, I want John Smith, because you don't know. John Smith could be a nightmare to deal with. So I would be specific when it comes to how you want to feel, but be general in terms of how it comes about, right? Because you don't want to be too specific. You don't want to say, I want this home on Appleby Road, because you don't know what is in that home. You don't know what the neighbors are like. You don't know whether or not there's an infestation, etc. So be general but specific. I hope that helps. And thank you so much for your super chat. Very generous of you, Kasmar. So Gemini, this new moon is hitting your 8th house. So this is about a letting go for you. It's a little ironic having the new moon in the 8th, because it's about new things, right? But the 8th house is about endings. It's about letting go. The 8th house pertains to the boundaries that you set and the boundaries that you dissolve. It's all about your finances in a lot of respects, especially the finances of the other in your life, like your partner's finances. And it's areas in which you share. So this new moon, you might decide that you're going to amputate a relationship. This new moon, you might decide that you're going to go to that next level with the person in your life, or even a business partner, right? So it's all about boundaries, those that you set and those that you dissolve. Now, with Saturn in the 10th, Saturn in the 10th is telling you that you need to be really disciplined in regard to your career. Now, when it comes to combining these two, it might be a matter of you're going through this death, this big letting go, and you kind of need to dissolve the old boundary and dissolve the old identity in order to get to that next level professionally. So allow whatever death, metaphorically, you're going through to also inform your professional life. So what that means is not only are you dying and are you becoming this new person who doesn't have this in her life, but you're also dying and becoming this executive or this whatever it is that you want to be professionally. So when you die, this new moon, because it might feel like a death, it might feel like a metamorphosis, you might be experiencing so many feelings that it feels like you're dying, right? Typically, not always, but during an 8th house transit, it's a bit raw. It might be definitely intense, but you want to look at it as not only are you dying and letting go of certain things, but you're also dying into and becoming that professional person that is ideal for you and achieving your professional goals. So let whatever letting go you have to do also help you reach that top of the mountain and determine, where do you feel like you are the best? Where do you want to be the best? Where do you want to be number one? And allow that transformative energy of the 8th house to let you kill off and release any limitations or self-limiting beliefs that are keeping you from getting on to that next rung of the ladder, Gemini. So let's see what wisdom you get from the tarot. Wisdom for Gemini, wisdom for Gemini, wisdom for Gemini. 3 of Wands. So the 3 of Wands is essentially, it's about your personal power and you having already established strength. You have established strength. You have already established some kind of strength in terms of your domain. Most likely this is professionally, or maybe it's in your relationships, but you've established strength, which means you have to be the leader now. You have to be the one that says, okay, well, this is where we're at. This is where we need to go. So I would really cultivate your own personal vision and allow yourself to be a leader. You've established strength already in your life. Now it's a matter of giving the directions that you need to follow, giving them to yourself first and those around you secondly. And the 3 of Wands typically means that you're going to have help in making your dreams come true. So perhaps utilizing numerology, find 2 people that can help you implement your goals. Okay? And happy new moon. Hello, sunflowers. Nice to see you. Thanks so much for joining. How come I was having that happen to me? I'm not even a Gemini. What did you have happened to you, Liz Lizard? I'm not sure what you mean, but let me know. So, Cancer, this new moon is hitting your 7th house, so it's all about your relationships. New beginnings in terms of relationships. So you might want to set goals to deepen your key partnerships, or maybe you want a new relationship. If that's the case, write a list of all the traits that you want in somebody. Maybe write 10 things that you want your person to be like. I want him tall, dark, handsome. I want him to be rich. I want him to pamper me, whatever it might be. But the thing is that ideally what you'll do after you write that list is that you'll imbue those traits. So you'll become what you want to attract. And by virtue of like attracting like, you'll attract your perfect partner. But it's all about new beginnings in terms of relationships, the new ones that you want, and how you might strengthen the ones that you already have. And you get Saturn in the 9th, so that's going to strengthen your relationships through your shared philosophical views. You might decide with this beautiful sextile between the 7th and the 9th house that you and your partner might take a class together. You and your partner might travel the world. You and your partner, because Saturn in the 9th house also rules entrepreneurship, you might go into business, right? So there's a beautiful link between your partnerships and expansion. And that has to do with your publishing projects, broadcast projects, if you have any, foreign travel, higher education, and even entrepreneurship. So you'll be able to expand with your partners. I would consider going on a trip together or learning something, expanding your horizons with your partners. In fact, if you go on a foreign trip or you take a class to expand your horizons, chances are with that beautiful sextile, you could meet a significant partner, right? So if you're looking for love with the ninth house, you might find a foreigner that you like. You might find somebody that you go to school with or that you find on a trip. So let's see, Cancer, what wisdom you get from the tarot. Wisdom for Cancer, wisdom for Cancer, wisdom for Cancer, wisdom for Cancer. The Tower. Now, these are very general readings, so don't worry about the Tower. The Tower is actually a healing card. Essentially, sometimes we build things on false premises. So it's like our foundation is faulty. And it's almost like starting a relationship and there's some kind of deception that is brought in early on. Like you tell the person, you don't tell the person you've ever been married, or you lie about your age or something like that. And, you know, things escalate and you get to know each other better. And now it's time for him to find out, or he learns about it, right? And that is a real Tower event. You know, is it that big of a deal that you cut a few years off your age or that you didn't tell him that you were married? Well, it is kind of a big deal, right? Because the foundation on which the relationship was built, it's a little bit faulty. And we all do this in some capacity, even when we're operating under false pretenses ourselves. So this is going to be an opportunity for you to create a stronger foundation. It may shake things up a little bit for you, but once you get past that, you're going to be able to create a very, very strong, solid, and safe foundation that is going to allow you to plant seeds that can grow however you like. So don't be afraid to go through a drastic, transformative period during this time. Don't be afraid to start from scratch in some area of your life, as it may be very advantageous for you to do so. Because remember, after the Tower, you have the Star, which is about inspiration and light and hope. So if anything is shaky, let it crumble, let it go. It's a new year, right? And Cancer, I hope that helps. The death thing, Pluto and Cap. I'm still missing what you mean, Liz Lizard, the death thing. Is it hard for you to let go? Is that what you mean? You can let me know. So Leo, this new moon is hitting your 6th house. So it's time to get organized. Not that you're not organized. Typically, Leo, I find, is almost, well, I would say that Leo is actually more organized than Virgo, arguably, because Virgo has to actually intellectualize it and work it, and Leo's pretty organized. But this is an organizational transit for you, Leo. The new moon in the 6th house is all about your health goals, your routines, your processes, your habits. It has to do with your job, your work, as well as your health. But at the end of the day, it's your lifestyle, what you do day in and day out, the nuts and bolts of your daily operations. So you might want to really think about what habits you can implement into your daily life that are going to help you get to your goals faster, right? First, you make your habits, and then your habits make you. So think about what you want for 2025 and what you need to do on a regular basis. Also, if you're looking for a new workout regime, if you're looking for a new job, this new moon is going to help you do that. Now, Saturn is in the 8th house. So what this is suggesting is that you have to be really disciplined when it comes to your boundaries, those that you set and those that you dissolve. Where might you need to absolutely let go? Who in your life might you need to kill off that you know is toxic? Or where in your life might you want to release boundaries and let people in a little bit more so they can help you? But you got to think about your boundaries. If something feels good, well, maybe release your boundaries and let the person in more, or let the situation permeate you more. If something feels bad, for the love of God, erect a boundary. But I would say with the 6th house and the 8th house together, this might be a matter of you're creating new habits in your life, and it really is part of a drastic self-improvement program. For instance, you might say, I'm quitting this job and I'm not even going to go into this career ever again. Or I'm quitting this habit and I'm going to allow myself to never have sugar again or whatever. But there's some correlation between the lighter aspects of your day-to-day regime and processes and protocol, and also that very, very intense form of death. Like the 8th house is like done, right? It's about big change. So when it comes to your job, your health, your habits, don't be afraid to kill something completely off. Likewise, don't be afraid to dive really deep into something. Maybe it's a matter of you're not only going to start exercising, but you're going to become a fitness instructor. Maybe it's not just a matter of you letting down your defenses, but really starting to think about marriage. And that means the death of your singlehood, right? So let's see, Leo, what wisdom you get from the tarot. Wisdom for Leo for the new moon in Cap. Wisdom for Leo. Wisdom for Leo. Wisdom for Leo. Wisdom for Leo. Aw, 6 of Cups. Well, this is one of the best cards in the deck. The 6 of Cups is about simple, innocent pleasures. It's doing a good turn for another. It's being kind. And we sometimes miss that. These simple things that we can do, be it a therapeutic smile or opening the door for somebody or giving, your teller at the bank some conversation, whatever it might be. That's going to really, really help you. In fact, it will help you with your death, your metamorphosis, right? Because the 8th house is aligned with Scorpio, so is this card. So I also would say with the 6th house, the answer to this card is often in the past. So allow yourself to really look to the past, especially in terms of health things. And this makes a lot of sense, actually, because Mars is retrograde right now. You don't want to start new things that are Mars related. For instance, in terms of exercise, it's better for you to return to Pilates or yoga than say, I'm going to start skiing or I'm going to start dance class or whatever. It's better for you to return to something from the past. Same thing in terms of relationships. Obviously, you just gotta look and see where it is that you want to connect with other people. Because Mars is retrograde, starting a relationship under Mars retrograde, well, it's not that good, because if you're interested in sex and passion, well, Mars is a little bit sluggish during its retrograde period. So if you start a relationship with Mars retrograde, it doesn't mean that your sex life is going to be terrible. It means that you're probably going to have to work at it, and it's probably not going to be one of those things that you can just jump into. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to rev up your engines, right? With Mars retrograde. So the answer to the 6 of Cups is in the past. So allow yourself to learn from previous relationships. In terms of jobs, same thing with Mars. It's not terrible to start a job with Mars retrograde, but Mars gives us our get up and go. It gives us that fire. When you get something done and it's a flash, you don't even remember doing it. That's really Mars. And it's your passion. So it's better for you to return to a partner from the past now. It's better for you to return to a workout regime from the past now, and better to return to a job, because at least that's already been started. So keep that in mind. So Virgo, this new moon is hitting your 5th house. That's awfully nice. It's a very fun and creative time for you. So with the new moon in the 5th, it's all about creative goals. What do you want to create this year for yourself? How do you want to express yourself? What lights you up with joy? What makes you really, really happy? Because that's what the 5th house is. It's things that you really, really love. Your creations, your creativity, pastimes, enjoying yourself, even your children, if you want to have children or you have children, right? So this is a time for new goals in terms of creative expression. The 5th house also pertains to romance. And what's funny is the 5th house is actually the house of true love. What's ironic is that a 5th house mate does not a partner make. The partner house is the 7th house. So unfortunately, you could fall in love with somebody and they might make a terrible partner. But for this new moon, you have Saturn in the 7th harmonizing with the 5th. So you could actually find somebody that not only you have a lot of chemistry with, that's great in the bedroom that you can laugh with and have fun with, but also someone that makes one hell of a partner, a really, really good partner. So I would really look for new love. If you're looking for that in your life, this is a great new moon for you in terms of relationships. I would also make an argument that even professional relationships could be governed under this, because if you think about it, fifth house might be creative things that you do, and the seventh might be a partner with whom you do those creative things. But you want to collaborate. Definitely collaborate with others to achieve your creative goals, and make sure that if you can partner up with somebody, that could actually help you have more fun. It could help you reach your creative goals more quickly. So let's see, Virgo, what wisdom you get from the tarot. Wisdom for Virgo, wisdom for Virgo, wisdom for Virgo. New moon in Capricorn, wisdom for Virgo. King of Swords. All right, so this is your call, Virgo, to be like the judge, right? You want to be very disimpassioned and very Libra-like, and you don't want to be emotional. You've got to make decisions now, per King of Swords, with that logic. You can utilize your intuition too, but you want to back it up with logic. You've got to really look at things with a very discerning, detached eye, like a judge. You know, a good judge, and some do nowadays, I guess a lot do, but a good judge is not going to be emotional about things. They're going to look at the facts, and they're going to look at the different arguments and make a ruling that has nothing to do with how they feel. Justice is blind. So you got to look at things square in the face this new moon and be really logical. In light of your fifth house, okay, if you're looking for more fun and joy, are you following your excitement? Are you exploring it? Or are you holding yourself back? In terms of partnerships, you got to really look square in the face at people. Is this somebody I can depend on? I really feel like 9 times out of 10, you can really look at a partner or a potential partner and really determine, like, this person is actually good for me, or this person is going to let me down. You'll know that. So when it comes to your creative as well as partnership goals, please just be extra logical and removed. Don't look at for what it is that you want to see. Look logically at what is there. Look and see where there are green flags and red flags, etc., and plan your investments accordingly. You don't want to invest in somebody who you know logically is going to let you down. So I hope that helps, Virgo. And happy new moon. So Libra, this is going to be on an angle for you. So this could be an important new moon. The fourth house is all about your home and your family, and it's all about essentially your sense of emotional security. What makes you feel all tucked in, warm and fuzzy, yummy inside? What makes you feel really safe and really secure? What allows you to really be in touch with the Divine Mother? And how can you channel that Divine Mother in terms of your self-care? And how can your self-care create so much abundance around you that your cup overrunneth? Your cup overrunneth, and then you're able to give from the saucer. You're not giving from you. You are abundant because of that sense of self-care. Think of the Empress. The reason why the Empress is so good at nurturing and loving other people is because she cares for herself first. Just like on an airplane, you got to put your oxygen mask on first. And I would say with the fourth house, you really got to determine what it is that you need to feel emotionally secure. And this could result in you renovating. This could result in you making changes to your home. This could result in conversations that you need to have with loved ones. It could result in really connecting with the people that you love, and that will enhance your emotional security. Now, Saturn is in the 6th, helping you this new moon, especially with fourth house matters. So what habits can you employ in your day-to-day lifestyle that is going to nourish your sense of emotional security? Is it at 10 a.m. you have a doodle break at your computer? Maybe it's a matter of on every Friday, you treat yourself to a really nice lunch. Or maybe on Thursdays, you go out with a friend, right? You got to determine what habits you can implement in your daily life that are going to make you feel more secure. Now, what's interesting with the fourth house and those things that make us feel secure, they actually can be things that are quite disciplined. Like, a regular workout. Maybe a workout regime makes you feel more secure and happier. I also would say with the sixth house, make sure that the duties that you have are as streamlined as possible and that they're not bleeding into your daily life. So, for instance, a lot of people who work from home, I tend to find that people who work from home fall into two categories. Maybe they work too much and they don't know when to quit and shut their computer down, or they don't work enough. If you're the type that works too much and you don't know when to call it quits, this would suggest making sure that you set boundaries in terms of work for you to achieve more of that emotional security. That could be time that you spend nurturing yourself more. So set those boundaries. And let's see what wisdom you get, Libra, for your new moon in Capricorn. Wisdom for Libra, wisdom for Libra, wisdom for Libra, wisdom for Libra. King of Pentacles. So this is good. I would say with King of Pentacles, you want to be really, really mature when it comes to earthy things. What legacy are you leaving behind, right? How can you set your heirs up for success? The King of Pentacles is all about preparing for the future and being really responsible. And it also is about great wealth and prosperity. What can you do, especially in light of your fourth house and your sixth house, right? In terms of your home and your home life, as well as your habits. What can you do to achieve more wealth and greater prosperity? Is this a matter of taking a look at your investments and seeing what makes sense for you at this period? Is this a matter of refinancing your home, perhaps? Because it is a fourth house transit for you. But think about, especially with Saturn in the sixth, what habits you can employ on a regular basis that are going to really increase your wealth and prosperity. And I would say on another level, really think about what legacy you're leaving behind, not just the money that you're leaving behind to your heirs, but what lessons, what values, what knowledge, because that's really what the King of Pentacles wants to do. He's very mature and he's very, very grounded, and he wants to make sure that his ancestors, his heirs, those he leaves behind, really flourish in all ways. So really become a master of abundance, not just not just financially, but also emotionally, abundant in terms of joy, abundant in terms of fun and happiness, etc. And happy new moon. So Scorpio, this new moon will be hitting your third house, which is all about communications. You're going to be quite busy, most likely, this new moon. So a new moon in the third house. Yes, Maria, you can ask a question. It's $5 plus for a super chat. So with your new moon, Scorpio, you get to create a new air cycle. You're closing an air cycle, beginning an air cycle. What this means is that your daily communications might be going through some kind of change, right? And you get to determine, oh, I want to go here on a more regular basis, or I want to take this class, or I want to be with this social group, right? And you might decide that you want to really think about new things. You're sick of going to the same places. You're sick of thinking of the same topics, and you need some freshness in your brain. This could be a new place to go on a regular basis, or new thoughts to take over your head. Now, Saturn is in the fifth house, which is all about your joy and your fun and your creativity. It's about things that you really love, your creations, including your children, if you have any. So this might be a matter of combining the two. You might take a class, third house, that allows you to be more creative and expressive. You also might connect with a sibling, third house, and have more fun together, right? With each other's children, right? Saturn in the fifth. you might decide that you want to enjoy your neighborhood more. And then with the 5th house Saturn, you might go to parties with people in your neighborhood. So you want to think about how your communications can be new and what new things you can think about and new socializing that you can partake in, and how that can also help your creative goals. So let's see, Scorpio, what wisdom you get from the Tower for your new moon in Capricorn. Wisdom for Scorpio, wisdom for Scorpio, wisdom for Scorpio. Oh, I love it. The Strength card. So the Strength card is really, it's all about connecting with the beast within. We all have this beast within, right? And it's a matter of, we can't suppress the beast. That's not a good idea. But we also can't let the beast run willy-nilly. Those are the people that when you say no, they throw a tantrum and they look ridiculous, right? You don't want to be that way either. What you want to do is you want to guide the beast. You want to be in touch with your impulses and your desire, but you want to guide it. And that might mean being gentle with yourself in terms of breaking old habits, or being gentle with yourself in terms of starting something new. You might be on the defense if you're starting something new communication wise, but you want to allow yourself to befriend the beast within and guide it toward your end, especially in matters pertaining to communication. Remember, Mars is retrograde. You don't want to start any fights if you can help it. That doesn't mean you can't respond and that you can't correct and that you can't defend yourself. Of course you can. But you want to try to not fire the first shot if you can. And if you do fire that shot, make diplomacy your watchword. You do not want to be out of control with the Strength card as well as Mars retrograde. And happy new moon. So Sagittarius, this new moon is hitting your 2nd house. So lots of money might be in the horizon for you. This is a good new moon for you to determine your financial goals and also to explore your talents, right? This is a great new moon for you to really open up your throat chakra and express yourself. Maybe it's through music or writing or dancing, or maybe even having fun. Now with Saturn in the 4th, you're being called to be disciplined on the home front and disciplined with your emotional security. So consider what you need financially, 2nd house, in order to feel emotionally secure. And do you have a plan for that in 2025? What's going to bring you to that next level of emotional security? And yes, finances can certainly do that, depending on your value structure. Additionally, I would say with the new moon, there's an opportunity for you to express yourself more. And with Saturn in the 4th, it's all about getting more comfortable with yourself, getting more comfortable with the divine mother within. I would say that you also might want to really think about your money in terms of your actual home. Are you an empty nester? And would it be more practical for you to downsize? Do you feel crammed in your current home and you really want a big, big house, right? And are you doing what you can to secure that? Meaning, are you putting money away for that new house? Are you getting plans in effect to downsize so you can have, your extra thousands or millions of dollars, right? But make sure to really find out what makes you more emotionally secure. Because if you tap into what makes you more emotionally secure, by like attracting like, you're going to attract more things that make you more secure, including your money. So you want to make sure that you're really feeling very much unconditionally loved, and then you want to go after any financial goals. So let's see, Sagittarius, what wisdom you get from the tarot. Wisdom for Sag, wisdom for Sag, wisdom for Sag, wisdom for Sag. Sagittarius, 7 of Pentacles. Don't fear failure. 7 of Pentacles is about assessment. So yeah, assess where you're at, but don't fear failure, because the fears that are associated with the 7 of Pentacles are really groundless in the long term. Assess where you're at, determine what you need to do, and just move forward. And happy new moon. So Capricorn, you're the star of the show. This is the new moon in your sign, of course. So it's a new moon in the 1st house. It's really about your perspective, your perception, how you see the world, which is exactly what you get back, right? Seek and ye shall find. So with the new moon in the 1st, You're setting personal goals for your identity and your growth. Now, if you're looking for a new personal reality in your life, well, that means that you should create a new personality. And that's what this transit is about for you. It's about a new personality, a new perspective, a new perception. And really, in a lot of ways, it's about reconstructing your whole personhood. You get to determine who you want to be this new year. It's like a fresh, clean slate for you. Now, Saturn is in the third house. So that means that you're going to have to be disciplined in terms of your communication. And in fact, your new personality, which will create your personal reality, a lot of that can be helped with Saturn in the third. How are you talking to yourself? How are you talking to other people? So let your communication style inform your new personality and perspective, i.e., make sure that you're communicating as this new you, and make sure you're communicating to yourself. That's the most important person you'll ever communicate with is you. Make sure you're communicating with yourself as this new you. And let's see what wisdom you get from the tarot. Wisdom for Capricorn, wisdom for Capricorn, wisdom for Capricorn, wisdom. Magician. This is the green light. Go for it. Just be smart. Check out all my resources in terms of the aspects that are going on. But the Magician card is green light all the way. Go ahead. Make it happen. Do what you need to do. Remember, Mercury is going to be sluggish until January 2nd. It'll be out of its post-shadow period then. Remember, Mars is retrograde, so it's better to do things that you've already started before. But nonetheless, the Magician card says, you got it. This is you. You're on. You get to create whatever you want. Green lights all the way. So happy birthday and happy new moon. Aquarius. So this new moon might have you a little bit sluggish. You might decide that you want to spend more time sleeping or behind the scenes. The 12th house is it's a very, very private, sensitive area of your chart. So make sure that you're getting extra sleep, extra rest. It makes you much more intuitive and very, very psychic. So definitely pay attention to your dreams during this period. You might want to really think about what new subconscious beliefs you can implement into your life, right? Because we don't get what we want. We get who we subconsciously believe that we are. So the new moon in the 12th house, it's time to really train your subconscious. Don't give yourself the luxury of a negative thought. Do your affirmations, focus on what you want. Vision boards are good. Now, Saturn in the second house is telling you need to be responsible with your finances, and you also need to be responsible with your talents. Because from what I've gathered from trans channelers, the talents that we don't explore in this lifetime, we have to answer for. Like when we leave this world, there's a reckoning, right? There's this defending of your life, so to speak, like that movie, in which you'll be asked, well, you're talented in this. Did you explore those talents? Did you maximize your creative potential? So really think about how you might express yourself in ways that are natural and authentic for you. Because really that should help your money. Even if you're not doing that talent for work, a byproduct of expressing it from your energy might help you achieve more dollars. Now, the new moon in the 12th, I would say, make sure you're utilizing this sextile and visualizing your financial goals, right? Because the 12th house and the second house, remember, your subconscious is very, very porous. You might want to visualize a lot of money around you or already having achieved that sum that you want. You might want to visualize yourself expressing yourself with no self-consciousness. If you have any qualms around self-expression, you might want to, again, with your subconscious, say those things that make you feel supported. I love everyone and everyone loves me is a good affirmation. So let's see, Aquarius, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Cap. Wisdom for Aquarius, wisdom for Aquarius, wisdom for Aquarius, wisdom for Aquarius. 8 of Cups. So 8 of Cups comes up a lot this time of year. Essentially, the 8 of Cups in this card, he's in red, which means he's still passionate, right? But he's moving on. There's certain things that just no longer punch your ticket. and it's time for you to walk away. So the Eight of Cups advice is, taking the best from a relationship, be it a relationship with a person, relationship with a job, a relationship with a workout, a relationship with your body, whatever, that is no longer really relevant for you. It's gone on longer than it needed to. And it's time for you to move on. This could be you moving on from a relationship, an actual person. It could be moving on from an identity, a job, a career, a hobby, etc. So if something is making you feel just like sluggish, and you're like, oh, geez, I got to do this again. And it's making you feel that on a regular basis, because we all have those days where we don't necessarily want to do what we are passionate about. But if you find that habitually you're just not feeling it and you're just over it, it's time to move on. And it's the perfect time to do so too. So happy new moon. And last but never least, my Pisces, my fishies. New moon in the 11th, Pisces. This is really fun. So the 11th house has to do with your highest hopes, dreams, wishes, and goals. So it's time for you to really think about what pie in the sky ideas. If you could have anything in 2025, what would you have? What would you manifest? Now, the 11th house also has to do with your friends and your community. And really tapping into that power of the collective is going to really help you. So you want to get in the club. Wherever your goals are, you want to join a club of some sort, even if it's metaphorical, even if it's energetic in your brain. But you really want to tap into the power of the collective this year, this new moon, in order to achieve your aims. So if you have a big goal, it might make sense to be around people that have already achieved that goal or are also looking to achieve that goal. Now you have Saturn in your first house. So this is telling you that you need to create definition in your life. Saturn wants definition. The first house is your personality. Who are you? What do you represent? What are your values? How do you epitomize those values? How do you personify your values? How do you stand in this world, and what do you stand for? Because Saturn is saying we need you to define yourself. Now, in light of the new moon being in the 11th, you might define yourself by a goal. I'm somebody who has achieved this goal. You could pretend you already achieved it. Or I'm somebody who is going to achieve this goal. So you want to align your hopes, dreams, wishes, and ideals with your new personality, or with this personality that you are developing. And I also would say, make sure that you are around groups of people and friends who can teach you, and people that you can align with that help you to be who you want to be, right? So let's see what wisdom you get from the tarot, Pisces. Wisdom for Pisces, wisdom for Pisces. Hermit. So the Hermit card, you're closing up a big cycle in your life right now. And it's all about really introspecting and really determining like what makes sense for you at this stage in your life. You might feel ambivalent, at least in regard to relationships, but the Hermit is all about seeking deeper meaning and really tapping into that inner light, and really think of that inner light. What does the inner part of you feel in regard to your highest hopes, dreams, wishes, and goals? What excites you the most? What would make you so happy if you had achieved it, right? Because the Hermit card, talks about introspection and really finding those answers within, the light within. So if you don't know what your big dream is, spend some time in quietude and wrap things up, right? The Hermit is in search for an honest man. This could be about you being in search for that group that you really, really like. But most important, I'd say with Saturn in your first, just decide who you want to be and how that aligns with your biggest goals and also the groups that you're around. And happy new moon. So we did it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. We went over the new moon in Capricorn for every single sign. Do check out my website, psychicsun.com, to get your chart and card reading for the new year. Also, coaching if you're looking for long-term support in 2025. I am available for that. And if you need a last-minute gift, well, you can give the gift that everyone wants. And that, of course, would be the gift of insight, which is a gift certificate for a psychic astrology reading. All of my links are below. Thank you all so much for joining tonight. I will see you tomorrow for This Week Astrology at 1 p.m. Eastern. Take good care.